Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures down 0.08%, Dow futures down 0.17%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.05%. A sense of caution is visible in markets today as futures have continued to slip and the dollar weakened as investors look toward impending Fed minutes in order to further gauge the direction of monetary policy. Treasury yields have remained steady while oil has bounced back from a 4-day slump after U.S. industry report pointed to a drop in domestic crude stockpiles. In Tuesday's town hall meeting, Fed Chair Jerome Powell stated that the pandemic is still casting a shadow on economic activity, but gave no insight as to the outlook of monetary policy or specifics on growth and the risks from the Delta variant. Over in Europe, markets were mostly unchanged as COVID risks continue to loom over the economic outlook. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Hi, Shane. How you doing today? I'm watching the S&Ps. They were moving lower, and then around 7 a.m. they started bouncing. They've come back a little bit. We're looking at the 0.12 in terms of downward pressure, but I'm really pretty sure that it's going to be flat pretty much all day until later this afternoon. The S&Ps just started drifting a little lower, but I do think we're going to come back here. This is normal. On days when you have an important economic event, such as what we have today, the S&Ps aren't going to move much ahead of the opening. Today, we have a number of key economic reports coming out, including the housing starts, and we have that oil stockpiles report from the EIA coming out at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. But the key economic report is really the Fed's meeting minutes. It's coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Housing starts likely to show that they cooled in July. Another draw in stockpiles is expected for the oil stockpiles report. And when the Fed meetings minutes are released, they're likely to indicate that the FOMC is preparing to start tapering in December or January. So that's the key of when the market's going to start to move, around 2 p.m. this afternoon. I'm keeping my eye on earnings because that's where, you see the volatility this morning. And that's what I'm seeing this morning, Shane.
Let's talk about earnings to watch. Starting with the earnings we've seen come in so far. Bill, why don't you tell us about it?
LGN, they beat by 11 cents, and they did it on higher revenue. The stock is up 1.92% this morning. Jack Henry, that's ticker JKHY, John Kilo Henry Yellow. They beat by 11 cents on higher revenue. Krispy Kreme, that's ticker DNUT, David Nancy under Tom. They missed by 1 cent, but it was on higher revenue. You look at the stock, it's up 1.64% this morning. Target, that's ticker TGT, Tom Grace Tom. They beat by 15 cents, but it was done on lower revenue, which is why the stock's down 1.83% this morning. Moving on to Lowe's, it's ticker LOW, Larry Oscar William. They beat by 25 cents on higher revenue. You look at Lowe's this morning, they're up 4.25%. Children's Place, that's ticker PLCE, Paul, Larry, Charlie, Edward. They beat by $1.40, but they did it on lower revenue. And guess what? They didn't give any guidance. That's why the stock is down 8.48% this morning. Brinkers International, that's ticker EAT, Edward, Apple, Tom. They missed by 3 cents, but it was on higher revenue. You look at the stock, it's down 0.5% this morning. Analog Devices, that's ticker ADI, Apple, David, India. Stock is down 2.5% this morning. They beat by 10 cents on higher revenue, but that memory business is a little bit tricky to play right now. I'm not surprised they're trading a little lower, but that's what I see for earnings that have been announced, Shane.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
This afternoon, we have Cisco, ticker CSCO. The expected EPS is 82 cents. The expected move is 3.91%. Synopsys, that's ticker SNPS. The EPS is $1.77. The expected move is 4.30%. Spartan Nash, that's ticker SPTN. Sam, Paul, Tom, Nancy. The EPS estimate is 47 cents here. The expected move is 6.41%. I remember they did that deal with Amazon where they gave Amazon a bunch of stock at a really low price just to make sure that they were a partner of Amazon. So now that they are a partner, we'll see if that actually turns into a revenue generating quarter for them. Bed and Body Works, that's ticker BBWI. The EPS is 82 cents. The expected move here is 7.35%. And then we have, tomorrow morning we have Macy's coming out, ticker M. The EPS estimate is 14 cents. The expected move is 10.15%. A little cautious here on Macy's. Kohl's also is releasing, that's KSS, Kilo Sam Sam. The expected EPS is $1.16, and the expected move is 8.86%. I'm going to round this off with Estee Lauder, which is ticker EL, Edward Larry. The expected EPS is 50 cents, and the expected move is 5.07%.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have housing starts and permits coming out. 10:30 a.m., we have the EIA stockpiles report. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the FOMC meeting minutes being released.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Sutra Biopharma, ticker STRO. The company was granted fast-track designation by the FDA for its treatment for advanced ovarian cancer. Sutra's share price is up 3.03% in pre-market. News on Expo Logistics, ticker XPO. The company has surpassed 500,000 downloads for its mobile app for truck drivers. Expo share price is down 0.02% in pre-market. News on Tata Motors, ticker TTM, the biggest automobile manufacturing company in India. They are rolling out with their second electric passenger car today. The car is expected to have a driving range of 186 miles and can fully charge in an hour. Tata's share price is up 0.01% in pre-market. Elsewhere on the tape, Regeneron, ticker REGN, the COVID-19 antibody drug of this company's, the use has jumped as infections surge. According to sources, Regeneron's antibody drug shipments rose ninefold last week versus the month previous. Regeneron's share price is up 2.03% in pre-market. News on Linde, ticker LIN. Industrial gases and engineering company Linde has signed a long-term deal with semiconductor company Infineon for on-site production and storage of high-purity green hydrogen. As part of the deal, Linde is expected to build, own, and operate a 2-megawatt electrolyzer plant at Infineon's site in Austria. Linde will also build and operate a compact air separation unit for delivering nitrogen. The facilities are expected to start functioning in 2022. Linde's share price is up 0.3% in pre-market. News on Tesla, ticker TSLA. Two U.S. senators, Blumenthal and Markey, are pressing the Federal Trade Commission to probe Tesla, saying that the company has misled consumers and endangered the public by marketing its driving automation systems as fully self-driving. The senators stated in a letter to the FTC's chair, Lina Khan, that Tesla and Mr. Musk's repeated overstatements of their vehicle's capabilities put Tesla drivers and all of the traveling public at risk of serious injury or death. Tesla share price is up 1.28% in pre-market. Other EV news, XPeng, ticker XPEV, has signed an agreement with the Zhaoqing municipal government and the local high-tech industry development zone to build a phase 2 expansion project of the XPeng Zhaoqing smart EV manufacturing base located in Guangdong province. XPeng's share price is up 2.17% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, news on Baidu, ticker BIDU. Baidu is preparing a two-part sustainable dollar bond deal amid the Chinese government's tightening regulatory grip on tech companies. The company is aiming to price 5.5-year and 10-year notes about 115 basis points and 150 basis points, respectively, above comparable treasuries. Baidu had earlier secured a $1 billion bond sale quota from the National Development and Reform Commission. Baidu's share price is up 1.7% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific sectors, oil, pharmaceuticals, what have you. And I also do it for events such as earnings and buybacks. It just allows me to jump on those hot news stories much quicker. Look at my Fang alert this morning. I see Google, the Pixel 6 series phones. They're going to be shipping without wall chargers. That's a big savings for Google. I guess consumers will have to start buying them separately. Facebook, I see that there's a big fund out there that's saying that Facebook is highly undervalued. I'm going over to my Dow Jones 30 alert. Intel is going to wind down their RealSense camera business. Walmart, that's ticker WMT. I see that multiple major banks this morning have increased their price targets on the stock this morning. Salesforce.com, CRM, just keep an eye on it. Earnings are going to be next week. You're looking for, a move that could be as much as $15 when they release next week. CVX at Chevron, Charlie Victor X-ray. Call volumes were very bullish yesterday as crude dropped for the fourth day in a row. You look at it this morning, crude oil is trading higher. So that's a nice benefit for those call buyers. Going over to my options, I see that China's debt to GDP ratio, which really has fallen. It's down to 2.67% in the second quarter from a peak of 2.72% at the end of 2020. I look at some of the EV stocks of the Chinese vehicles, and they're really at the low end. Ticker NIO, that's NEO, 30-day option implied volatility is at 65 compared to the 52-week range of 55 to 156. Li Auto, that's ticker LI, Larry India. The 30-day option implied volatility is at 71 compared to the 52-week range of 60 to 178. Buybacks, there's a lot of buyback news, and news where you can simply type in .buyback just to get all the buyback news. But let's just briefly look at some of the headlines. We got Target. Target announced, that's ticker TGT. They announced a $15 billion buyback in their press release this morning. Overstock.com, that's ticker OSTK, Oscar Sam Tom Kilo. They agreed to buy back up to 100 million shares in stock. Lazy Boy, that's ticker LZB. They announced a buyback of 6.5 to 9 million shares. In terms of shareholders meeting, J&M Smuckers, that's ticker SJM, Sam, John, Michael. They're having a shareholders meeting today. That meeting is scheduled to start at noon Eastern time.
Moving into our trade talk picks for today, I'm picking one I spoke about, Regeneron, ticker REGN. This is one that's already got up a little bit in pre-markets, up over 2%. I'd say let's look for some morning weakness, but the news about their COVID-19 antibody drug, how it's surging in use as infections surge, and coupling with talks that we're having about upping booster shots for people with weaker immune systems. So this is something that could be a hot topic, and the numbers show ninefold for last week's sales versus a month ago. That's a big uptick for them. So this is something that definitely can continue to see some positivity this morning. So I'm looking for gains there. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Salesforce.com. That's ticker CRM, Charlie, Richard, Mary. Earnings are not out until next week. But I think the stock's going to start pricing in a big jump in earnings starting today. I'm anticipating a very solid quarter for Salesforce. I look at the brokers; they have price targets on the stock ranging from 285 to 300. I see that the options are pricing the stock for a 7% move. It's been trading off a little bit the last few days, so I think we're going to start seeing that turnaround today, and for shares of CRM to move higher today.
Well, let's move into what's hot off the press. So the news that's hitting the tape as we speak, moving the stocks today. Bill, what are some headlines we should be letting traders know about?
Honeywell, ticker HON, Harry, Oscar, Nancy. They have some new technology for light drones. It increases the range threefold with cleaner, quieter hydrogen fuel cells.
More news on Beijing, ticker BGNE. Swiss Medic has begun a formal review of its treatment Brukinsa.
Stryker president, that's ticker SYK, Sam, Yellow, Kilo. Stryker president and CEO is set to retire.
Jinko Solar, ticker JKS, has signed a polysilicon supply deal with Wacker.
TJX, that's TJ Maxx, they reported earnings, 64 cents per share on higher revenue. Consensus there was 57 cents. TJ Maxx said the start of the third quarter are very strong. Said second quarter same-store sales increased 20%. Merck, ticker MRK, they're going to be partner with Werewolf Therapeutics on a solid tumor program.
DraftKings, ticker DKNG, set to become the official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. Some more EV news. NIO, ticker NIO, and Tesla, ticker TSLA. Supplier Bosch China has cut off chip deliveries. And to clarify, David Zhu, the vice president of Bosch China, released on Tuesday that its semiconductor factory in Muar, Malaysia was shut down by the government due to pandemic restrictions. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing, Shane.
So that's going to do it for what's hot at the press. Traders, you can receive the same stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out and get a free trial. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Tuesday. I had NVIDIA, ticker NVDA. It opened at $196.85 and hit a market high of $197.38 by 10 a.m. before closing lower and finishing at $194.58 for a 1.15% loss. There was some small gains to be made. We timed it well. Some small losses if we went from the beginning to the close. However, the stock's already up a bit in pre-market, and I still believe the stock will push higher upon earnings, so I would hold on to this one. And so we got into it a little bit early, but I still think good things are coming for NVIDIA. How did your pick end up doing, Bill?
My pick yesterday was Walmart. Stock opened up at $150.40, and it actually hit a high of $152.50, which is a 1.39% gain. In the pre-market when we picked this up and we actually called it, stock was at 148. So it was a nice little run. It was a good run that day. But we got to work off the opening print. Stock closed at $150.40. But with all these good price targets coming out today, I wouldn't be surprised if it sees some additional gains today for shares of Walmart, ticker WMT.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk with Traders. You know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.